Hello, hello, welcome to the stream. I might as well start getting the mic on, even if the intro's still up. I do let the song play all the way through, about 20 more seconds on that. By the way, the music is from a website called Upbeat. There is a link to that in the description of the streams, always. But it's time to go here. And thank you. I've decided that instead of dealing with the process of figuring out why entities were consistently bugged in the previous attempt to stream, I'm just going to start a new world. I do lose access to the super easy Nether hub. I'll probably add a mini-map later on. I forgot I wanted to do that. But I also removed the crazy, terrain generation mods just because I didn't really want to use them. And I guess the entities kind of just confirmed I should just stick to vanilla plus biomes plenty. So we're just gonna do that. If I enter these, any chunks outside of the current world will end up being a little buggy, so I'm just gonna create a new one. That is okay. I was a little bit late today due to a bit of technical difficulties earlier. Regardless, thanks for stopping by, and do make sure you get enough sleep. Sleep is very important. Alright, we're just gonna call it Create by Design. That's what I'm calling the mod pack for the time being. Still might update it here and there. I won't do anything with terrain generation yet, or terrain generation after this. I don't think I'm a fan of crazy high-end mods, but I did bring back Distant Horizons. Okay, the shaders are dark. Maybe that's just because of the biome I'm in. I hope. Yeah, okay. It's gonna take a little bit to load everything. And while it's loading everything, my CPU temps might drastically increase. River. And since I'm a little bit late, I might go for about an hour and a half here. Let me grab some sugar cane, of course. Yeah, I'll go for an hour and a half maybe, and then I'll end this stream and then potentially start a new one. The idea is I actually want to get a couple of oh, I gotta pay attention. I gotta get a couple of other games in here. I do want to play various games, not just one. Um, my roommate happens to be picking up on the mic. That's a problem. Um, It's on system default, and system default should be this one here. Yeah, we'll just try that one. Alright, well, we'll deal with it. I'm not on a multiplayer world. It doesn't matter as long as it's not picking up on the stream too much. Hello, hello, welcome to the stream. Let me head over here. I want to follow the river because I want to start a very massive port style build. And I do have it like kind of planned out already. It's I have a Pixel Studio file open right now on my phone. And I need a large ocean so that I can actually build the port nearby. So let's follow the river as far as I can, and we'll potentially get started from there. Oh, okay, that's a little problematic. I don't know what's with all the like plateaus and weird shaped mountains. I blame Biomes Plenty for this one, I'm not gonna lie. But it looks like I'm upcoming on a sea beat, which is part of Farmer's Delight. Pretty cool. And then there's also a swamp and an ocean nearby, which is exactly what I wanted. And in the distance, there's a mountain over there. So, okay, the weird thing about this is I think this is like a dip. Let me see. Okay, something is spiking my CPU, and I have a feeling it has to do with whatever that is over there. Yeah, once the new chunks are loaded in, though, it kinda fixes itself. What is that? Okay, so let me head further over this way. I want to see, it looks like there's like a weird dip. And also, this could be an easier way to get slime balls, which are very important for, what do you call it? Spanish moss plant? Okay. Yeah, this could be very important for... Oh, cool. The, bridge I want to have. Yeah, I got very distracted. Twice. So, the port essentially has like the upfront docking area, and then it has like a bridge that'll go over to land. And I'm seeing like there's land over that way. What biome am I in? I have no idea. I don't feel like looking. Anyway, there's also a shipwreck on the right, and then there's that there. I could go over there, build the port along that way, and then have the bridge come over this way. But it looks like that goes out that way. And that also goes out that way. If I go too far back this way, though, because I know the port is quite far back, that could cause potential problems with it being a bridge. Um, could also face it that way, although that wouldn't be really realistic. I could also just face it this way. If I have it facing this way, it shouldn't be too hard to make. Um, hmm. What do I feel like doing here? If I start the bridge about here, it'll go way out in that direction and look very unrealistic. I could alter the front of the design to be like a corner port sort of thing. That wouldn't be the worst idea. So say I have like a sort of corner port here. In that case, the bridge would go back there and go that way, or it would go over there and go that way. Um, I don't think this is the area. I'm not gonna lie. Because I do want a bridge somewhere, and this one's just not gonna work out with it. It goes too far back onto the land. That's land, so it wouldn't make sense to have the port this way. It only makes sense to have the port this way and then the bridge go somewhere off. It would have to go that way. But I'll get some dirt real quick. And if I end up starting it here, it goes like 350 blocks back that way. Um, that means I'm like, what, 200? Alright, I think what I'd do, let me exit this real quick. I added the mini map. We're gonna work with it. Midstream, I added the mini map. And I'll do a world reset because that one was a little funny looking. I didn't like the area I was in. Okay, we'll do that. Let's delete this one, kind of restart it now that I have the mini map for good luck. Alright, same thing. And let's hope I get lucky with this one. Because I'm not able to switch it again. There's no other mods I can think of that I need to use that I need to switch it. Today's objective is I need to find an area to start the port, and I'll sort of explain a few changes I want to make. Okay. Now we have a mini-map. We already have what looks like an ocean. Um, let's let everything kind of load around me. And while I let everything just kind of load in, I'm gonna grab a tree. Get a bit of starter gear, and then figure out what I want to do. So this is kind of annoying. I'm not a fan of this or this. However, if I do the port on the side of this, or actually like this here, if this doesn't go all the way around, I can then put the bridge across here and then run it along the river. I would like the bridge here. That might be the perfect spot to put it. I also do have leaves fast decay. That might not have been shown because I did go into the map quickly. But if I look over here, it actually just looks like that's a big river, and then it's just going into the ocean. So yeah, we're gonna head over here. Let me get the sugarcane. There are cows nearby. I kind of want sheep though. And there's zinc, which means there should be iron. Also, it should be easier to find andesite because I don't have all those world gen mods on. Okay, we're gonna work with what we have then. There's no iron over here. There's more zinc. Oh, here's an andesite uh funnel I can take from. I'm not worried about how the terrain looks because it's going to change anyway, which I guess meant there was no excuse for me not to use the last world. However, I would like the water to be somewhat natural to avoid me needing to completely hollow out and build an ocean. That would get quite annoying. And we're hitting 20 minutes out of the initially planned 90. Right, I need to make sticks first. Alright, let me go get a sheep or 3. And I do want leather. I do plan to get backpacks as soon as possible, as well as an enchanting setup. I did ignore the cows earlier, but that's fine. I'll go back for them. Or just rely on new ones. There's a lava pool right over there, which is perfect. It will allow me to get to the nether. I would absolutely love for sheep. There we go. I'm so sorry. It has to be done for my safety. If I have 3 different colors of wool, it is not going to work. But I can solve that by gathering these. Okay, where's that gray sheep at? Come here. There we go. Now I just have to dye the wool all the same color. But I saw cows over here, and I'm kind of interested. Yeah, I definitely lost them. Whatever. I see a village nearby, which is very useful. What kind of... Hang on, what is going on? What in the stutter? Oh, so something got on the bottom of my mouse. I had to wipe it off because it wasn't moving, letting my mouse move left and right. It was detecting the thing on the bottom of the mouse. That's fine. Oh, we have an armory right there. That's going to be very useful. And we have another Stony Shores here. And it looks like, yeah, it wouldn't be smart to put the bridge here or here, just because, excuse me? It unrendered the chunk over here? Okay, well, over here just seems like a more liable option. I guess it decided I didn't see the full chunk, so it was just gonna delete it. Alright, let me grab the lectern and the bookshelves. Oh, you know why it could be? Hang on a minute. Okay, no, it was just a weird loading issue. I see. Um, okay, we're just gonna work with it, I suppose. What is in this house? It looks like it is from Farmer's Delight, perhaps? I got, tomato seeds. I'll take your carpet, I suppose. I definitely want that. I'm just gonna take everything here. Ooh, rope. Yeah, I should definitely be generating the inventories before I break them, just to be on the safe side. I won't be breaking any chests because I have looter installed. I was already there. Let's head into here. Oh, it's like the other one, but it's bigger. Oh, it's exactly what the other one is, but bigger. If I knew there was water down here, I would not have done that. Let me grab the cauldrons. I might need them in the future. Bread and a leather tunic. Um. Oh, honey glazed ham. Oh, there's a lot of things in here that I really want. But looks like inventory space isn't going to allow it. Alright, let's dye these. And I can eventually sleep when I need to. If I want a backpack, I'm gonna need some string, which seems to be more wool. And then I'll need a chest, which I can easily just break. So, let me get a torch. There's another village up there. Cool. Alright, let me look around and see if I can't find any sheep. I'm gonna head up to the other village real quick to do that because I believe that's the closest thing to a plains I'm gonna get. I'll loot the villages and then I will. Okay. Yeah, we'll work with it. I'll loot the villages and then I'll start planning. Because this build, assuming I actually finish it, which, like I said, the goal is to finish it. Or I guess I didn't say it yet. Yeah, that's right. I still need to go into the changes I want to make. So let's do that while I make my way to the village over here. The first one is, as you know, I wanted to do a little bit of a reset. And the reason for that is because I wanted to, in a way, go for what I wanted to actually go for instead of making a temporary thing first and then kind of dedicating myself to finish something I didn't actually have much motivation to build outside of gathering early game resources, which is kind of what happened in the last one. Um, there must be something on my keypad. And I know it's something on the keypad and not like a software thing because every time I wipe off the mouse, it works perfectly fine. Oh, there's some wool on top of that build I can take. There's also this weird like cliff thing here, and that's gonna have a cauldron in it that I want. Is this gonna give me more than 2 wool? Alright, raw chicken can poison me, so for sure don't want that. Um, there's llamas. There's iron. Let me grab that. 'Cause I'm pretty sure I need it. I can get another sapling. I'm not worried about that. Same with a seed. I'm pretty sure I need iron so I can make the, what do you call it? There's something I want to make with iron. Right, the mill. And yeah, no, it is iron. It's gonna need iron and andesite. There is andesite close by. Um, there's more iron over here, which is helpful, but I kind of want a sheep. Oh, okay. I'm glad I didn't skip over this vein. But no, um, another thing I wanted to make sure that I started doing was, I kind of want to do multiple streams, multiple shorter streams. And the objective behind that would be so I can get a variety of games in rather than just one. Uh, People who don't like this game may not really have any interest in watching it. So I would like to expand, play other games as well. And obviously, like, this isn't the only game that I enjoy playing. There's plenty of games out there that I enjoy playing. This is just one of those that gives me a lot of freedom and creativity and the ability to make a large amount of progress whenever I don't procrastinate and actually do it. It all depends on how things go with that one. Let's see. There's a lot of pigs here, but I also want to play games like Satisfactory, maybe Pal World eventually. I've been hearing about that game, and I heard they added a modders workshop, and that excites me. So I'll probably be playing a little bit of modded Pal World in the future, because why not? I play this game modded. I've played a decent bit of modded Terraria. Oh, that. I don't know what that sound was. That's okay. But I guess I'll head to where I want the port to be and make a temporary little setup. Nothing too crazy. Probably not even a house. And then I will begin the port. But I also am really excited for a specific game to come out, and I'm not gonna lie, when it does come out, even if it's a day I work, that day will be designated to playing that game, or at least before I have to go in, it will be. And that is Forza Horizon 6. I am so excited for that game to come out. I can't wait for it. It's probably one of the it's probably the most excited I've been for a game in a while. Okay, there's a sheep here, and this time I don't actually have to shear it, which is good. I can make a furnace. Um, I don't need wooden bowls. They're easy to make. As a matter of fact, I'll just burn them. I need a wool, at least 4 pieces, or at least 2 more pieces, I should say. Alright, I need one more bit of iron. I also want to start turning streams into videos and kind of organizing streams a little bit more. I didn't exactly know where I was going to place port for this one, but I do have like a very, very large plan for that port. So I kind of know what I need to get to start the port. I also know what I'm going to need to get to make the port more advanced and get all the machinery in there. It is modded, not too heavily, but that's because I have mods like Create Mod, which already get pretty heavy later on. Oh, wait. I need to make a mill, and that is any kind of stone, an andesite casing, and a cog. So yeah, I need andesite. I think this has... Actually, never mind. No, it doesn't. Oh, right. I don't have a backpack. Don't the egg. Don't care for it. And I can get infinite clay to make flower pots later on, so I'm also not worried about that. So let's head back over to where I plan to build the base. I'll go back for other stuff later, for the village stuff later. Since I have the not waypoints, I don't have waystones. I think they're a little cheaty at times. But since I have the mini-map mod on, I can just, oh, cool. I can just head over this way. And I'll start kind of planning out the area. That is way over that way. I can't even see it on the map yet, but because of distant horizons, I'm able to see it on the screen. This, on this side of the river, is where I plan to have the bridge. Um, I believe, yes, the plan was to have the port like 4 blocks above the water, so I don't need to go up for the bridge. I'm just gonna fill this dumb little pond in. Anything I don't like in terms of anything really, I'm just gonna fill in and not ever worry about. Like what I want to do is have the edge of the road over here. And what that means is the edge of the dock will be somewhere around here. And I'll probably just leave the terrain alone, minus these little dips in the water. So let me... Alright, let me get a chest, and then I want to grab some andesite. Okay. And then I want to get a little bit of andesite. I definitely don't need this much. Let me, I suppose, toss out sticks for the time being. And then I'll head back over to here. Make some andesite alloy. And then, right, I suppose I'll get the chest here for just a second. I'll also grab some wood. And that is because I need one andesite alloy. And I also need a cog. So that would be shafts, and then that's a cog. And then I can just do that. I think I need more. Let me see. I get a cog again. I put it next to that. I can either get a valve, which is sheets and andesite alloy, which I don't have a press for, or I get a hand crank, which is one more andesite alloy and some birch planks. So I suppose let me head to the tunnel, get 2 more andesite, and then I'll go ahead and make that. And later I'll make andesite alloy 2 times as efficiently, but right now I don't have a mixer, so not too worried about that. Alright. Let's get 4 string if I can. I need 1 more. And then I can make a backpack. Uh, the mic is fine. Alright, now I can make a backpack. And I just need the chest, which is gonna get a little funny. I can put that right there. Leather there. And then there we go. I can chuck that there, hit B, and then chuck everything inside. So now, if I'm gonna prepare for the port build, I should probably invest in some dirt for the sole purpose of like outlining everything. And I'm definitely gonna need a lot of dirt for this. The length of the port is approximately 360 blocks. So it's definitely not going to be an easy build, which is why I plan on having various create contraptions before I end up actually going towards building this thing. Let's see, I've been up for 45 minutes, so it's about half the time we have for this one today. And I guess I can separate into different parts since technically, what I'm doing is editing down into videos anyway. I should also definitely work on like getting the full sentence out. Pausing mid-sentence is kind of weird. I don't like that I do it. Alright, so let's build over this way now. And then once I get this over here, I can start kind of laying out where the roads are gonna go. I'll flatten that out real quick. And let me look at my reference. I'll eventually transfer the reference to the PC. But for right now, we're just gonna work with it. The first thing to note is that this here is going to be 250 blocks wide. 250 blocks wide is quite a long width away, and it might end up going all the way out here. Because if I'm looking at this, I'm pointing at what, like -17? That means like positive 203. So that goes all the way out here. And then even worse than that, it's like 350 blocks this way, so that's gonna be like -250, and that's way out here. Let me head backwards into the forest, see what's over here, and see if I really want to do that. Because that seems like it would end up being really, really large. Or like really pushy into the water. And that I'm not a fan of. Oh, right, I have everything on me. It's in a backpack. The way I'm looking at it is I can potentially try and put the bridge back here. I think the bridge does need to go a little higher than the port needs to go. At the same time, I could just throw the rails, not the rails, the the garage for the cars underground. But I want to see if this is a worthy size for getting the... Oh, hi. I was not even close to you. That's crazy. Anyway, yeah, I want to see if I can get the rails, not the rails, the bridge to look okay over top of this area. If I end up moving it super far back. I really like how this area looks. But if I did put the edge of the port at this island here and then here, that would be like, let's see, -150-ish. So it would go out to here and then it would go back to like +100. So this entire spot would be taken by the port and then that would go this way. Um, I think I'm just gonna go with the port in the water. I'm not gonna lie. It'll take up a lot of the water, but it's fine just because it's a massive ocean. Let me shear all the sheep I can. Oh, there's a skeleton. There we go. Let me get more of these supplies real quick. And then, I guess that decides it. It'll be right here. Go into that direction. Let me make sure this is lined up with the river. And by that, I mean if I look straight, I go onto land and the river's to the left of it. Perfect, okay. And then what that means is I place these here and then start sort of planning the roads. Uh, this will mark a lined tile. Or, yeah, this will mark the lined tire, or the lined part of the road. And so will this. And then I think with the recent updates, yeah, I need 4 lanes back here. So we do 3. And then the entire road is 5. Then we do this. Okay, there we go. And this is a little middle section that's not included. Hence why I'll keep gravel there. Okay. So this is 1 lane, 2 lanes, 3 lanes, and I need 1 more lane. And this is directly after the bridge, which means technically this doesn't start here. Let me break some of these. There we go. Um, yeah, 'cause that's the outside marking, inside marking, outside slash inside. Let me hydrate real quick. There we go. Always always stay hydrated. Okay. So right now I have one. Actually, maybe what I'll do is the middle of the road will be 2 blocks tall for the time being. So we now have the 4 roads. This is directly after the bridge, which means I do need to do a little bit more planning. Sort of. If I head over this way though, I pretty much end up guaranteeing that some portion of this goes down this way. And if this is the road, or more so I should say if this is the inner portion of the road, that means I travel 5 blocks over, and then this would be the corner of the port itself. And then that means 350 blocks down this way. Okay. So that would be negative 297. And then we'll say, okay, so 30 and then negative 297. Is 297 too close to the island over here? I sure hope not. And I'm also making sure that X isn't too large or too little. Okay, I'm technically drowning for whatever reason. Yeah, no, I think 297 is too close. I might actually have to move it backwards. Yeah, this this is too close to that island. That's not gonna work. Okay, let's head back this way. To be fair, maybe I have to just drop the entire bridge idea and just work with the port up front. And let me throw that in my offhand real quick. As much as I want the bridge to be some, like the kind of rear exit, I guess it just doesn't really work unless there's some kind of river next to it. And as far as the map goes, um, there is no river going this way next to the ocean. So I think I'll head back over here, drop the entire port idea, or not the port idea, but the entire bridge idea, and then just kind of start the port where I think it could work. And that's gonna be right up there. Let me swim. Oh, hello. And the idea is I'll set the center of the port right about here. And that means it's actually I could just place the port closer to 0, 0, and then just remove the land. Do I feel like doing that? Not really. Um, that could be an ocean monument. Yeah, I don't think I feel like starting it at 0, 0, so I'm gonna ignore that and just start it out here. Um, Guaranteed, I think the port ends at like -3659 where this ends. And then I can do more of like a or not a diagonal, but like a multi-point sort of port, multi-side port. So let's go over here. I should probably figure out what's causing all of those red dots. Perhaps it'll be a cave and nothing to worry about. Um, or I go over here and I do just put the bridge over top of this. But that would mean filling a lot of this in. I think I might go with that. Because this, if I do this, I'm building over a lot of water. And I'm really not a fan of that. But if I head over here and just build the port over this way, I can push the front a little bit farther out depending on how far out that land goes. And I also don't have to worry about all those red dots because they could be hostile. So, yeah, let me do that. A lot of changed decisions here. I do apologize for that. This is more of a planning style stream, I want to say. I'm not doing a starter base with this one at all, so that's all getting skipped. I want to go into it with like a low end setup, I guess, for like chest space. And then we'll just figure the rest out later. I can leave the dirt markings over there. I'm not too worried about it. But let me get the other workbench. I'm pretty sure that's nearby. Oh, that's fine, I suppose. Yeah, I need my mill. Okay, we're gonna head over to where I found. We're gonna head over to where I found the other thing, and then from there I'll start actually planning. I think I like it over there more. Let me gather the wool. I want to make sure I have enough of that later. So I don't have any near plans to make a sheep farm. And I'm pretty sure it is this over here. Yes, it is. It's also right nearby a village, which is useful. And I can just cover this up. I don't really care too much about this. Even if it is some weird, like, underwater cave sort of thing. Yeah, it's definitely hostile mobs underground that are forming those weird clusters. I will have to dig this just a little bit. And it looks like a lot of gravel, which can be annoying, but I think I'm willing to deal with that. And then we head over here, and it does look like there's not too much in the way. Um, that does kind of curve this way. Hmm, that could work. And this is, as far as I know, the furthest point. I think we're getting closer to something. Okay. If I do the port here, that's what? It's like 600 and then negative 150. And I can head over to here, potentially head over to here. I think I'll just head over this way though. If I do 600 and then it's going to be plus 220, that would be 820. Oh, that's all the way out here. So let's say I did 765 be 555 and then subtract another what? 20 or so? I could do 760. So that could be like 160 and then 750. Let me note that down real quick. Okay. Oh, wait. I did that backwards. Not to mention, it's also negative 160. Okay. So if I want to go 220 blocks, what looks to be the negative x, it would be, hang on, let me also keep track of the 160. And then 750 minus 220 would be 530. Not 350, 530. And then we'll do the 160, subtract the, or I guess add, since we're going positive, add the 350 plus 300 would be 260, I want to say. I guess if I'm looking at 150, I'll just look at 350. Okay, that's positive 200. So then if I look at 350 minus 160, hang on. My brain's not functioning right now. I think I'm a little too tired. I'm going to take negative 160 and I'm going to add 350. So that goes down to 190. Oh, that is crazy long. I suppose it's worth it though. It is kind of like an industrial area. I could potentially alter this to like 700 though. And then instead of moving this to 530, it would be 470, which would go just about at the edge here. Or actually, it would be 480, which would be directly in the middle of this, and I would have to clear some of that out. So yeah, we're gonna go with 480 by moving this over from 750 to 700. And then this would be down to 190. Cool. And I could probably put markers. We're gonna call it bottom right port. And then I need 190 to what was it? Like 840? 480, sorry. And this would be bottom left port. Head up here to about negative 160. And this would be top left port. And then we go in between these, or I'm going to want 700 by, isn't it positive one? Wait, no, it's negative 160. And then we'll do top right port. And I don't see the markers. I see the areas. Cool. Okay. So now I'll take these out. And then I suppose I get that all the way over here. There we go. And we've got about 9 minutes left for the stream. So let me see if I can't go into Krita real quick and kind of explain the idea assuming I can find my stylus. Whoops. Um, Found it. We will do thumbnail size. Why not? Let's do it. Okay, so I think I know what that was. Anyway, let's go above here. Um, Window capture. And if I right, my workspace is not correct. What that means is I can just move this back over here. Uh, that's also not correct. I will fix this, I promise. Oh, hang on, hang on, hang on. Oh, you're kidding me, right? Okay, let's hide that real quick. Um, all the way over there. That's fine. I was still early game, so I guess it doesn't matter. I can always get more experience. At the same time, I do need to be more careful not to lose experience too badly. If I keep losing experience, enchantments will never happen, and then how else am I supposed to dig out so much spaces? It is a good thing I wasn't in hardcore though. Alright, let's just head through here. I do want to try and stay a little far away from the village, just to make sure that the villagers are okay-ish, I guess. If there's at least 2 villagers for me to steal, that's fine. But to put it bluntly, I need port workers somehow. Yeah, using the map markers is going to be very, very useful for this kind of thing. Um, Geez, that's a lot of things spawning right there. That's not drowned, is it? Okay, well, one of them is. Yeah, no, that is definitely a cave. I'm glad OBS isn't making it too dark. I know prior it was. I did also kind of remove the one mod that adds all the colored lighting, and it's actually saving my CPU like 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, it looks like a lot of drowns seem to be spawning now. Oh, that one's got a fishing rod. I'll take it they're not too happy about me swimming all the way over here. So let me head up here real quick. head to my latest perishing. And then, there we go. And then I can take a little bit of a nap, which I should have done to begin with. Okay, pause this time, go over here, and we'll do this. If I am to draw on here, well, it doesn't work unless I have a brush. Oh, that doesn't work. Um, Interesting. Let's say I move this down here. Does that then show up? No. That just means I can't use a... Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, that just means I can't use a display capture. Not a display capture, a window capture. Let's do a game capture. No idea what all that is. Let's try it. Okay, game capture 100% does not work. Um, I suppose I'll just do a display capture. And I want to display that one. There we go. There we go. Now you can kind of see what I was doing. So the goal I have for here is essentially I'll have 2 exit lanes. Actually, hang on. No, we'll do it this way. I'll have I'm gonna have to move this. There we go. I'll have 2 exit lanes at the bottom here, and then 2 entry lanes under it. Then what I want to do is kind of have the port sort of down here. This area will have the boats, which is going to be terribly drawn in like so. Cranes on the side. And most importantly, where you enter, there will be 2 roads around here. Ignore the terrible sketching. And it will go up there. This will go up to a sort of rail station where there will be more cranes. Let me do this in black. More cranes and potentially a train line going through there. Now, as far as things go now, The idea is for this slot here to be sort of like a car parking for like the port worker vehicles. This will go around up here, and this will go around down here. It looks like it's cut off, but that's fine because out here will actually be like the entry. Let me, not a mirror. Hang on a second. It's unfortunate. I don't remember the hotkeys very well. Oh, what? Okay, there we go. This will all move over really quickly. There we go. Then I'll move my. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Then I'll take this. We'll do that. This will do that. This kind of copies it and follows through here. Same with this one. And then in here will be some of the truck parking spaces. This is very complex planning, by the way. And then I actually think I got this backwards. The green one should be up here. Yeah, these should be the entry lanes, but that's fine. I'll kind of note that. Entry, exit. Um, this, whoops. This will kind of go into here, which will redirect its way into here. And then same deal with this one. It'll redirect its way into here, underneath the truck parking. So there will be sort of tunnels that go downwards. And that pretty much sums that up. Then this gets split again. This would be what's called the quay, which is essentially just where the boats take the crates and place them on the ground or onto trucks. Well, actually, they place it on the ground and then other equipment puts it onto trucks. This would be the yard where this is moved and then sorted. Typically, it's sorted into dry goods, reefers, which are temperature sensitive. And then you have the empty crates, and then you have like the ingoing and outgoing crates around here. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to organize this, but I'll do that later. This would be the industrial section. I'm also considering throwing something around here. Probably not, but maybe something around here. Otherwise, I'll just throw it in here. But this would be for fueling if I don't throw it out here. And I forget what it's called. It's like a CFG or something like that. Something freight, something. Essentially what it does is it just takes the crates, throws things into a building that takes a lot of space, probably half of this entire area. And it can either take from one crate and sort it into various smaller shipments, or it can take more and then just group it into one. There will also be maintenance buildings, things of that sort over here, as well as the crate repair, stuff like that. So that's basically the idea that I had. The four markers actually go from these four corners. It doesn't actually count the road or the parking yet. and the bridge would go out to something. I don't know yet. I haven't gotten that far. I don't know if it'll go straight out to the city or if it'll go out to something smaller before it reaches the city. So that is essentially what I plan to do. And if we just head back into the game real quick. Um, oh, display capture should definitely be lower. There we go. Now you can see me. Remove that, keep that off. These map markers are exactly what I circled on the crappy drawing. And then I'll have the highways sort of go this way. And that actually allows me to do 2 bridges if I really wanted to. But this is just going to get covered up because I don't care about this like dead end river. It's a little dumb to have it, to keep it. So I'll probably just push the roads here. The bridge will go here. And that means right after the bridge, things can kind of go out and then the parking garage be over here. I may not do it right after the bridge. It all depends. Essentially the idea is there's like next to the tunnels there should also be like identification points. Trucks usually don't enter or exit the port without identification. That's just to make sure the trucks know where they're going. When I get the road in here that kind of wraps around, we don't want a truck going into the wrong lane and then not picking up the right shipment. That would cause confusion, delays, and huge mess. So the idea is to figure out where the trucks go before they get there. Assuming I do things right, the highway would go here, or not the highway, it's actually a connector, would go here. Then just about here is where the trucks would go. And that means I can get the tunnels and barrier here, and then the tunnels would move down to here, and then over to here where a garage would be. And the garage happens to be what's going to demolish this village over here. Perfectly fine. It will be a huge build, over 400 blocks in one direction. Something like that, yeah, definitely more than 400 blocks. Unless the garage somehow ends up being less than 40, we'll figure that out later. I still don't have the entire thing planned out. I mostly have these points planned out, and I'm working on this point right here, behind the scenes. So that'll pretty much do it for this one, I suppose. I figured out the area. That was my primary goal here. Anything after that, I would have just been lining it up. I think next time I hop on this world, one, I probably will be on for a little bit more time. And hang on, what's all this do? I can export the map as a PNG file? Oh, that's so cool. Oh, cool. Okay, so I suppose, yeah, I'll figure this out and I'll see everyone in the next one, which might be like a couple minutes after this one. I'm thinking about getting on Satisfactory, start a run in there, and try to stay consistent with that one. Um, Otherwise, yeah, I'll see everyone there and hopefully, and until then, goodbye.